Good morning. And yes, it is still morning, at least for a few more minutes yet. It's just a little bit after 11. And my name is Mary Jadwisiak. I'm coming to you live from Holding the Hope Central in Battleground, Washington. Big giant shout out to all of you who are at the NAMI Washington convention. Good for you. I hope you learn lots of wonderful things. Today is the first day of summer. It's June 21st. And it was when I was a kid, it always felt like the first day of summer came halfway through the summer. Like, it was like we've been out of school for a while. And what do you mean it's the first day of summer? It's been summer for a long time. And today I'm looking outside and I'm seeing that today, June 21st, is absolutely no different than yesterday, June 20th, which is the weather is still gray and overcast here in the Pacific Northwest. Summer doesn't really start until after the 4th of July. And then we just have nonstop glory until 1st of October. So I was really struck by this today as I'm looking outside, and it's supposed to be summer. In my little girl head from Ohio, summer is hot and sweaty and humid, and this is not any of that. And from an astronomical perspective, we've really had a bit of a shift, right? We've had the summer solstice on the 21st of June. We've had a big shift from it's no longer spring, it's summer. And yet, everything's the same. I got up this morning, I fed my dogs, took a shower, got dressed, put on a little lipstick in order to be here with you today. Outside looks exactly the same. The flowers that need to be put in the pot and out of those little dinky things are still sitting there needing to have that done. So how do we know? And how do we know? That's what how can you tell that change is happening? How can you tell that recovery is happening in your life, in my life? How do we know? Well, there's a couple of ways, right? We can look back at pictures that we've taken. I kind of go, wow, what happened? I used to look really young. I used to look really thin. I'm not young. I'm not thin anymore, right? And then maybe I could look at a picture yesterday and it looks exactly as I am today, but I know that things have happened in the last 24 hours that have changed me. So what I want to talk about today is change. I want to talk about shifts. Sometimes they're huge and they're really noticeable, and we realize and we feel it and we bring it on intentionally, and we make choices and conscious behavioral differences and changes that help us understand that we are different people. We make different choices based on the same set of circumstances, and this time we chose A instead of B, and things turned out differently. And we know that the person that made that choice is different than the person that made the other choice a while ago. So for those of us that are looking back at our lives and saying, geez, I'm not sure that that was good. I'm kind of ashamed. We're not that person anymore. But that was an incremental change. So I'm kind of jumping around. So what I want to talk about are the two kinds of changes that we have. The big shifts where we say, I'm going to stop drinking today, or I'm going to do something different. I'm going to call and trying to get some help. I'm going to go to a peer support group. I'm going to get out of the house. I'm going to make a different choice today. I'm choosing to be different. And then there are the changes that sneak up on us. Age is a good one, right? You look in the mirror and you go, what the hell happened? Who is that person? I don't remember her. And so I don't know which one is better. I think that I like when I can make big choices and I can make big changes in my life, and I can do something big that says, I'm not the same. I don't want to do the same things. I don't want to be the same person. I want to make a different choice. I want to get a different outcome. I like it when that happens. I like it. That requires bravery, and that requires me to be accountable and authentic, and just really be real with who I am and say, this is who I am, and that's fantastic, or this is who I am, and that's not good enough, or that needs to be adjusted. I like adjustments rather than change, because adjustment is just a little tweak here and there, and change is, you got to take something out and put something in. So, but the incremental judge stuff that happens, it's just comes from us making small everyday changes, small everyday choices that can require almost the same amount of bravery as those big giant ones do, because it requires consistency. Now, I don't know about you, but that is like the hardest thing for me, is to be consistent. I can make a big declaration and say, this is how it's going to be, and life is going to be very different now, and then the next day I get up and everything is exactly the same. Because it's those incremental daily decisions that create significant change that I think is more sustainable. The big stuff is awesome. I like taking the big giant leap, but it's those little incremental steps that got me to a place where I could take that big giant leap. It's those daily practices of maybe prayer and meditation that give me a place where I can be brave enough to say, I'm different, or that thought pattern was wrong, or I really choose to do this thing that I've been putting off for a while because I know it's going to make life better for me and the people around me. So I think that's kind of part of, for me, in my recovery, is being intentional about my life. For so long in my life, all I did was react. All I did was survive every day, whether it was just surviving the day, getting through work, getting back, getting home, fixing dinner, putting the kid to bed, all that kind of stuff. It was just a reaction, and it was just a survival, and it was just a go, 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 go. What's next? What's next? What's next? As I've gotten older, my son's grown and gone. I've got more time to myself. It's harder, quite frankly, because it has to be intentional. It has to be me. It's not about reacting and helping somebody else to be successful and doing all the things I'm supposed to be doing. It's about doing the things that are next. What's the next right thing? And that is sometimes just getting out of bed and then taking a shower and then getting dressed. So I will tell you, I've taken a shower 4 days in a row now, and that is an achievement. I've been kind of in a bit of a funk lately. And so I've gotten up in the morning, taken a shower, gotten dressed 4 days in a row. The other thing that I've done recently that I've really started appreciating is getting up early, going to bed early and just waking up early. And then I really feel like I've gotten a lot done during the day. Being intentional about doing the next right thing that's going to line us up for the big step is really difficult. And sometimes it's scarier. And sometimes it requires discipline. It requires it requires self-love. This is what I'm going to do for me because I deserve it, because I want it, because I need to take the next right thing and the next big step. And I need to do these things before I'm ready for that next big step, whatever that is. So I think it all comes back to that, right? It all comes back to that self-love. It all comes back to taking care of ourselves. It all comes back to knowing that we deserve nothing but good things, and that we are a manifestation of all that is good, and that whatever's going on in us is exactly how it should be. Right? So it just means what? We do the next right thing. We do what's right in front of us. And we do it to the best of our ability. And however that turns out, that's how it's supposed to be. Those are the principles of my recovery that have gotten me through 40 years of different stuff. And I'm super grateful for those little basic concepts that I have, which is just do the next right thing. And the next thing you know, it's the first day of summer. And then the next thing you know, it's the first day of fall. And you look back and you go, hey, where did summer go? Well, the leaves are all red, and everything's different. But I'm kind of the same. But am I? So my mom used to say to me, Mary, look how far you've come. Just look back 5 years. Whenever I'd get to a place where I was just like, oh my gosh, I just don't know what I'm going to do with myself. She'd say, look, just look back 5 years. My gosh, look how far you've come. And there was a lot of comfort in that. Because when you're in that day to day, what's next, what's next, what's next, you're still making choices to grow or not grow. You're still making choices about to use or not use, to meditate or not meditate, to medicate or not medicate, to whatever it is in our lives that we choose to go and move on with our recovery. We just kind of incorporate our recovery into our daily lives. It isn't two separate things. It's just an incorporation of those two things. It's a blending, it's a melding. And that is what has been so helpful for me, to realize that by living my life as the best I can live it every day is what the best thing I can do for myself in my recovery. And I fail miserably a lot, and I succeed wildly a lot. So I don't know what's going on. Nobody's loving it up. Nobody's saying hi. Maybe I'm just here talking to myself, and that's okay too. But I hope that you have a fantastic weekend. I'm going to clean my garage this weekend. We shall see how far I get, because it's a bit of a mess. So I might just clean a little bit and stop, but I might clean it all. And who knows? I'll let you know next week how I did on my garage. You can ask me. Last week, I did a 5-day masterclass for my business on marketing and sales, and this person dropped some amazing amounts of information on me, and I'm going to be doing some work in that area, so you might see some significant changes coming my way around my business, and I hope that it's helpful for you. And I hope that you have a fantastic weekend, and don't forget to stay hopeful. All right. Bye.